What's up, good people and fellow comedy fans? It's your favorite comic on the come up, back for season 4 of the Comedy Chatter Podcast. If y'all have been searching for a podcast that talks all things comedy, as well as kicking with some of the dopest comedians in the business today, then this is the podcast for you. It's the return of Melly Mel, the return of Meldon Williams. I'm back, ladies and gentlemen, with the Comedy Chatter Podcast, the only audio comedy pod from the perspective of an up-and-coming comedian, up-and-coming comic. That is me. What is good, good people? How's everybody feeling, man? I know y'all good. I'm certain y'all good. I'm certain of it. Yes, I've been on a bit of a hiatus. Yes, indeed. I've been on a little hiatus, man. I've been actually trying my best to get an episode out there to you guys, to the folks that's listening. We always kind of got things that are going on. I've been doing some role work, been out, performing and, trying to get some feature sets together and, along with just kind of working, making sure that things are good life-wise. I just kind of been on a bit of a hiatus, but hey, I am back now. You guys ain't got nothing to worry about. I haven't had a chance to get a really good interview in a while, but I knew I needed to get an episode out. So this go round, my episode is going to be simple. This is going to be kind of like a memory lane / where are they now in terms of comedians that I have interviewed in the past. We're going to chat about them. We're going to talk about them, man. And I'm going to just kind of give y'all an update on, not more so an update, but just kind of what it is that they doing now, man. Most of the cats that I interview anyway are people that inspire me, people that I fuck with. So yeah, we're going to basically chat about them, see where they are now, and also just kind of, give you some memory lane type stuff in terms of how I got the interview with them. Y'all already know how I do, man. When I start out, man, shout outs. I do the shout outs every time, man. Somebody asked me recently, why you do the shout outs every time. I do them just because I'm so, first of all, anybody that knows me and knows that the origin of this podcast, that it's just it's close to me, man. It's near and dear to my heart. It's something that I started, and I didn't know the first thing about starting a podcast. This is back when everybody was like, man, podcast this, podcast that. And I was like, man, that'd be a great idea to kind of do a podcast, tell people about my journey, get people to know who I am, hear my voice, all the people that are headlining comedians. And, I'm not a headliner yet. But, yes, I told myself, you know what, man, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and, try to get together and put some stuff out. And when I did that, there was only a few people that decided, hey, man, I'm going to help you in that journey. And those two cats are Roger Feeney from the Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase, manager at the Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase. When I told him about it, he was all the way down 110% in terms of me coming in there and interviewing comics and doing whatever it is that I needed to do at the showcase. And my man David Pittman, who showed me all about the sound and editing and things of that nature in terms of putting these things together. Those were the only two cats that listened to my vision and was like, hey, man, this is what you need to do, and took it from there. And so without them, man, wouldn't be no season 4, episode 2 of the Comedy Chatter Podcast. Oh, man, I'm serious, man. I love them. I'm sorry. Breasts, yes. Titties, yes. What do you call them, sir? You gotta know you gotta crazy. Tatas, boobies. Nipples. Okay, you just went straight for the nipple. What you call yours? Boobies, yes. Y'all got little immature-ass names for them. Yeah, it's universal, man. I love them. And I love all kinds, too, ladies. I'm letting you know now. Oh, my God. I'm like a titty. At this point, I'm a titty connoisseur. Yeah, you know how they got wine connoisseurs, so they're like, that's a nice 68 Chablis. You know what I mean? That's how I am with breasts, man, yes. I love them all, too. Hey, man, big, nice, small, whatever. Yes, indeed. I like the ones that still perky and nice and young and just stick right up. Yeah. And I also like the ones that as soon as they snap that goddamn bra in the back, they fall right up the front. My new segment, for those of y'all who are hip to season 4, episode 1, I got a new segment. I used to do back in the day sponsors, but now I do a new segment called the Old Man Rant. Anybody that knows me knows I'm getting up there, man. And I realized that, and I realized that because I sound a lot like, the old men that was back in my life when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. You know what I'm saying? Always ranting about some shit. Always, just kind of you're like, man, always, or that's me now. That's me. I'm the get off my lawn type motherfucker nowadays. So my old man rant this go round, man, is simple. Just so y'all know, everybody that's out there, man, just so y'all know this, black folk make mistakes too. Okay, I'm gonna repeat myself. Black folk make mistakes too. Okay, so I want y'all to stop hearing certain shit in the news and media, and then just immediately taking black folks' side. You know what I'm saying? Like everything ain't a racial issue. You know what I'm saying? And if it has some racial elements and some racial tones in it, then I suggest you listen to the whole motherfucking situation, and then don't just take the black folks' side. That's ignorant. There's an ignorance in that. Oh, it was just black people because I'm everybody. No, like black folks make mistakes too. So, in saying that, I don't know if you guys have heard the whole situation that happened with my man Ryan Coogler here in Atlanta. So it was huge around here, man. You know what I'm saying? When I got back to Atlanta, I heard about this situation. For those of you who don't know who Ryan Coogler is, I know a lot of people don't know like the behind the scenes type shit. So Ryan Coogler is the cat that directed Black Panther. Okay, like I'm talking about the Black Panther, like like shit, Chadwick Boseman and yeah, like Killmonger, all that motherfucker, like one of the biggest movies of all time. Now, obviously, he's done other stuff. You know what I'm saying? He's done Fruitvale. That's it. Fruitvale Station. That was the name of it, which is a very good movie. And he started his relationship with Michael B. Jordan. Then after that, of course, Creed. The first Creed, which was like the best Creed. And then he went on to Black Panther. So this guy's literally like just hitting balls out the park every time. So anyway, amazing director, black man. For those of y'all who don't know that, yep, African American man. He goes into a Bank of America, which like hit woke me up immediately because that's where I bank. I bank at Bank of America. Anyway, my man Ryan Coogler goes into Bank of America. He wants to get out $12,000 out of his account. Now you already know this motherfucker a millionaire. I mean, if he directed Black Panther, he got millions. So let's just go ahead and say that. So he wants to get out $12,000 from his bank account, but he's like, he's thinking like, shit, I don't really want everybody to see no motherfucker counting me out 12 grand, and I gotta walk out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he's thinking, hey, I want this to be discreet. So he's like, hey, writes him a note. He writes the teller a note. And he's on the back of his, deposits, or should I say, withdrawal slip, by the way. So he wrote all the information on there. And this is where it gets a little murky, because like I said, I want to know all the information. But this is where it gets a little murky. I don't know if he handed her the ID, which we usually do. You got ID and all that. But anyway, he wrote her a note. Wrote the teller a note on the back because he wanted to be discreet. So he's like, hey, like, this is me. You know what I'm saying? I want to get out $12,000 from my checking account. He was like, but, hey, I wanted you to count it out somewhere else or whatever because I'd like to be discreet. That's what he said. Like, it was in plain. I saw a picture of the note and everything. The bank teller decides, oh, hell no, this dude trying to rob the bank. He a bank robber at this point. I guess, the whole holder just handed her the note, whatever. I have no idea what was in her mind. Like I said, I've never worked at a bank before. I've never been a bank teller. But this thing ended in her, from what I hear, her calling the cops because she felt, hey, this was a little like weird. This was a little out of pocket. This dude must be robbing the bank. Called the cops. Ryan Coogler winds up in handcuffs. The director of Black Panther. Now, where I was going with this when I said black folks make mistakes too, because I heard that this bank teller was a black woman. See what I'm saying? But I've since seen some posts and some people that's stepping up and saying all this like saying all this stuff yeah, she justified in that. Like, what the hell Ryan Coogler walking in there for, trying to get his money out of his account with a note and blah blah blah. Just basically going in like on this situation, but taking her side. And like I said, I don't I would love to just know exactly what happened, but guess what? I wasn't there. But from the sounds of it to me, It sounds like this is a bank teller who simply made a mistake. See what I'm saying? She made a mistake. Like, dude, if I'm the bank teller and somebody wrote me a note and I read that note, what's the first thing I would do? What's the first thing y'all would do? I would take that to my supervisor. I'd be like, oh man, first thing I do is read the fucking note. Let's start there. So I want to know if she read the note or if she just was like, oh man, this motherfucker passed me a note. He about to rob the bank. Bank robbers usually, pass notes. But my point is simple. Everybody that's rallying around her, I heard she was pregnant and, all this kind of stuff too. She's a pregnant black woman. But bottom line, hey, pregnant black women can make mistakes too. And don't just like take her side. I think what she did was some bullshit, to be honest with you. Because if this was anybody else, what I'm saying, would she have all of a sudden thought, oh my God, like, he's robbing the bank. Like this dude just wrote you a note saying that he just, want to be discreet about how you count out his 12 racks. You know what I'm saying? Read the note, take it to your supervisor. Let the supervisor handle it from there. But from what I'm hearing, she determined this shit was too weird for her. So now her ass gonna call the police on Ryan Coogler. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, she's saying she didn't know it was him. But I mean, like, from what I'm hearing, like, he, you usually give the ID and everything with your car. Bottom line, my rant is simple. Hey, man, black folks make mistakes too, goddammit. Don't jump on Facebook and social media and Twitter and all that saying that she was justified and she did all that. First of all, let's get all the information. But second of all, if it sounded like to me like she was doing way too much. If she was the one that was like, oh man, this is weird to me, and called the police, like she did too much. She made a mistake, and damn it, she need to be, held accountable for that. Man, I ain't saying mistake. I ain't saying fired. I'm just saying, hey, sweetie, you overdid it. You overdid it a bit there. You know what I'm saying? So yes, don't just folks been killing me like, oh hell nah, she should have did that. Really? Everybody know if that was a white woman that did that shit, they would have lost their mind. Oh, for real? Like Karen called the police on this black man because he was black. They would have went in on Karen, but because it was Carisha, like DL said, because it was Carisha, like y'all motherfuckers, oh no, she didn't. No. Black folks make mistakes too, goddammit. And if she was the one that deemed this weird because this man wrote a note, then yeah, she made a mistake. Flat the hell out. That's my old man rant. Black folks make mistakes too, goddammit. Don't just pick sides just because she black. If that was a white woman, y'all would have killed her for that shit. Coming soon to the Comedy Chatter podcast. These are my next few guests that's going to be on here, man. I got Lavelle Crawford that had already agreed to do it. John Heffernan. He's a very hilarious comic out of the Michigan area. My man Gary Owen. He does his own Get Some comedy podcast, which I happen to love. Carlos Miller, man, one of my favorite comics, and he gets a mention on here every damn episode somehow because I love him so much, man. His damn Netflix special should be on deck, by the way. By the way, Earthquake shit is hilarious, by the way. His little Netflix special Dave Chappelle did for him. If y'all ain't seen it yet, check it out. And then Ashima Franklin and Vanessa Fraction, ladies, y'all already know, y'all already agreed to do it. They gonna make history as being my first joint guest podcast episode. But yes, they're really good friends. I love their energy, and I can't wait to get that interview with them. So I guess gotta catch up with these folks, man. That's what I do. That's what I've been doing in terms of catching up with folks. Which brings me to the gist of the episode this go around. Episode 2, season 4, as I've already mentioned. I just want to do kind of like a memory lane, kind of, where are they now type episode here. And it's basically just me, like I said, just kind of remembering some funny stories, remembering some adventures and some capers that I kind of got in and some things that I had to do. Because people don't know, like, how hard I work when it comes to this podcast. You know what I'm saying? I am hell-bent and adamant on doing in-person interviews. Let's start there. In person. You gotta be, I got a small little operation too. I know that a lot of the comedians kind of laugh at me when I finally get there and I don't really have, no whole bunch of stuff. I got like literally a microphone and a bungee cord to hook to my phone. Like, I'm telling you, it's a small operation, but it's mobile. I can get around with it. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm hell bent on doing interviews, in person because you just get way more. It's more of a personal feel to it. You know what I'm saying? Like if they, I've heard people, ask me, "Can we just do it on the phone? Can we just do it on Zoom and all that?" But it's not, a personal feel. We don't get this. We don't have the same rapport. You know what I'm saying? You don't get the same product, on Zoom and all over the phone and all those things. So with that said, yeah, I like to do in person. So hey man, I've done everything from hey man, just it's only a 10 or 15 minute interview, but I've flown like all the way to LA, you know what I'm saying? I remember my man Sean Larkins, hey, who's he already knows how proud I am of him and how he's one of my favorite guys and literally like this guy I tell him this a lot of times. I mean, you literally living my life right now. You living the life I want to live. So Sean Larkins is a very funny comedian out of Detroit. He's originally Detroit, but he lived in Atlanta. He lived here in Atlanta for a while. This is kind of where he got where he got some heat, when he was living in Atlanta. But he moved on a whim too. Cedric the Entertainer called him and told him, "Say, man, I got this new show that's about to come out that I'm about to be in, man, and we need some writers, man, and you'd be great." And on a whim, he was like, "Hell yeah, I'm going." He's like, "You got to move to LA though." He's like, "Yeah, you can't just do it from Atlanta. You have to move to LA." And this dude packed his whole life up, you know what I'm saying, and just kind of went on a whim and was like, "Hey man, I gotta get this opportunity, man." And it wound up working out for him because, hey, what are they on? What, season 4 of The Neighborhood now? That's the show that he writes for. And this guy has not only written episodes for The Neighborhood, but he's got a recurring role as the mailman on there, dude. So man, like I said, he's living my life, man. I would love like that's my goal. My goal is to be a working comedian, obviously, a working comic, just headlining clubs all across the country, but also want a writing gig for a television a sitcom or a show. And so that's what Sean Larkins is doing, man. And so that's the first, memory lane type deal, man. That's where he is now, by the way. Like I said, this dude is writing for The Neighborhood. That's big boy shit right there, Sean. I'm so proud of you, man, because like I said, he's always just been a guy too that's been down to earth. Every time I run into him, he, walks up, give me the whole pound. Like, what up, big dog? What's going on with you, man? What's going on? Where you at? Just real cool. And yeah, man, I told him, man, I want to interview you. I kept on, running up on him at shows, and it never really worked. So I was like, you know what, bro, man, I'm about to just fly to L.A. That's where you at, right? He was like, yeah. He's just going to fly to L.A. for like a 10-minute interview? I was like, yes, sir. And I flew over to L.A., man, and hey, he just happened to be, staying at the hotel at that time because he was going to some kind of show or something. Hey, gave me a, super dope 15 minute interview, man, and I was able to do his episode. So yes, Sean Larkins. Next up, man, this is a bit of a sad one for me. Like I said, I'm life happens, man, and is that's one of the real reasons why I love doing stand-up comedy, by the way. Comedy, is one of those things where you can just kind of, get joy out of it. If you feeling bad, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to put on some comedy, or I'm going to go to a comedy club and just, get to see all these people laughing together. So, but yeah, life happens, man. And so, life happened to me with these next two cats that I'm going to bring up, man. My man Tyler Craig and Ricardo Flanagan. I'll start with Tyler Craig, man. Tyler Craig wound up. Everybody knows Tyler Craig, man, too. Like, you probably the name with the face, but yeah, just Google Tyler Craig and YouTube Tyler Craig and watch some of his shit, and you'll be like, oh, that's him. Yes, the moral of the story is like that's Tyler Craig with the dreads, and you know what I'm saying. Very funny cat. I had been hitting him up and his manager on the phone for a while. And he finally was like, yeah, man, come on down to Uptown tonight. We're going to be at Uptown. So he was performing at Uptown. He performed at Uptown. And after that, we was able to go and sit back in another little room at Uptown Comedy Club here in Atlanta. And he gave me a real in-depth interview, real cool interview, man. It was the shit. It was perfect. And I was like, yes, man, this dude right here, man, Tyler Craig is on his way. Because people knew him from, a Comic View and all that stuff. But he was still, headlining clubs and everything. And then tragically, man, I just kind of heard, one day, I think I was asleep. And got a text from a comic or something. It was like, hey man, you heard about Tyler Craig? And I was like, oh no, what happened to him? So yeah, man, he passed away. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like Tyler Craig, like the comedian? And of course, you got to get on Facebook, and that's where you learn about all the deaths nowadays. You don't learn them from the news anymore, like when I was young. Like you learn deaths from Facebook now because these motherfuckers post the shit immediately. But yeah, man, they said that he had died, man, and I think I heard something about something aneurysm in his heart or something popped in his heart. It was just terrible, but yeah, man, I was real sad because of how nice he was that night that he gave me that interview. And I was like, man, he was he was doing his thing, man. He was, like he was one of those guys just really needed a break, really. He was, but he was happy though. That's what he said. Like I implore y'all to go back and listen to his episode on my Comedy Chatter podcast. He just talked about how happy he was and how he was traveling, and his wife goes to all the shows with him and all the cities, and he's just having a great time. So yeah, that one hit me hard. Um, but that one didn't hit me as hard as Ricardo, my man Ricardo Flanagan. And Ricardo Flanagan was an actual friend of mine. Anybody knows me knows that yeah, Ricardo and I lightweight started, kind of stand up at the same time. We started in the same club, Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase, man. I used to run into this brother in there every time I went. Like he was he was there and he was, doing his thing. And Ann Arbor ain't the blackest place in the world, so it'd always be like, like shit, 10 white comics, and there'd be like two or three black, comedians. And he and I were, two of the three. And so yeah, we just kind of sparked a relationship and started chatting and talking, man, and wound up like he wound up he was responsible for my first feature gig. He took me to Dayton, Ohio with him. He said, man, I'm headlining, and they told me I could bring my feature, and I'm bringing you. So yeah, man, we wound up just becoming really, really good friends. He performed with me in my new Bosses of Comedy troupe. I put four guys together. It was five initially. And yeah, man, I was so sad to hear that, yep, I think, this COVID thing got Ricardo. And a friend of mine, just kind of Instagrammed me. It was like, hey, man, you heard about, Ricardo passing away? I was like, passing away what? Like I literally didn't know what he meant by that. Like because I had just like Ricardo and I probably texts like like maybe a month before that. Like we kept in touch. I know he was living in L.A., but we kept in touch. And he was like, yeah, no, he passed away. I was like, what? And so, dude, you talking about being rocked? Like I was rocked. And this is why. This is the main reason why. And it's still, kind of like I said, hurts me to today. But it rocked me because Ricardo Flanagan was literally one of the guys that I wanted to sit with on the other side of this thing. See, right now I'm just, up and coming. I'm, we trying to make it and, whatever that hell that is, or, trying to get success and blah, blah, blah. But I literally, and he was doing the same thing. He was grinding. He's been in all type of shit too, by the way. Like he done been in, episodes of Insecure. He done, what I'm saying, Shameless. Like he been on TV and everything, and he was headlining clubs. But he was literally a guy that I was looking forward to sitting on the other side of this shit with, like us being in an award show or something together, or us, sitting in one of our mansions, or just kind of us, like just kind of on the other side of things, man. Instead of the whole grind and the struggle, and being able to say, man, remember when we first started together, man? Remember when we first started? And he like, yeah, I remember. Remember when we didn't have no money, and remember when we was, had to, shit, dollar menu. Like, I was looking forward to sharing those stories with him on the other side of success, and that's what made me sad when he passed away. So yeah, those two guys, man, Tyler Craig and Ricardo, man, rest in peace, fellas. I'm gonna keep on grinding, and part of my grind is, gonna be for y'all, like most definitely. Roy Wood Jr. was another very interesting one, man. And he's probably, in terms of his success, where he is now and what he has going on, and, folks that know him and the TV shows that he's been on. Like he's still grinding too, but he's probably, one of my most successful comedians that I have had the chance to interview. I got a chance to interview Roy Wood right after he had finished his first Comedy Central hour special called Father Figure, which I loved. If y'all ain't seen that shit, man, go check out Father Figure, his first one. But yeah, man, I got a chance to interview him after that. And that shit, I was so, I wound up just kind of being, on a layover for work in Minnesota, Minneapolis, Minnesota. And, I just, like I said, was keeping in touch with him. And, he and I just, I had been, after I'd been hitting him up, hey, I want to interview you. He was just a humble ass cat that was like, yeah, we can make it happen. We can make it happen. And we just wound up being in Minnesota together, Minneapolis together, same time, same day and all that. And I was like, oh shit, you in Minneapolis? I'm in Minneapolis too. Well, you think we can be able to do this, interview? And he was like, yeah, man. I'm gonna tell you where I am when I get there. And he told me where he was. He had a hotel room. I get on the train. I go over to this hotel, bruh. And Roy Wood comes down. I remember, never forget, he came down the steps to come get me, man. He had a Chicago Cubs, fresh ass Chicago Cubs jersey on. And I was like, oh man, that's Roy Wood Jr. Like, I'm sitting there like, that's really him. So he takes me up. And man, I remember I didn't have my damn, see, this is, like, so you got to be ready. Preparation, meeting opportunity. I should have been way more prepared than this, getting this interview. But my phone, like I told you, I used my phone to record. My phone wasn't even charged up all that well. I think it was maybe on like 37%. And he was like, oh, shit, man, you on 37%, bro. You ain't going to be able to do the interview. And I was like, no, it'll be all right. It'll be cool. I was like, shit, whatever I get, I get. He's like, no, don't worry about it. And I remember him putting his, using his charger to charge it while like it stayed plugged. That was a real long charger. So it was able to be plugged up while I was recording. Yeah. So man, and then Roy Wood commits to giving me probably the longest interview that I've gotten from any comedian. I usually only ask for about 10 or 15 minutes. That's all I really need. Roy Wood gave me 55 minutes. And I'm talking about, he started for every question I asked, every this, that, and the other, and it was amazing. So that was literally one of my favorite interviews because, he's one of my favorite comics. He was just real humble and cool as hell, and answered any question that I had. And then, like I said, we had a really cool conversation. Check out his interview, too. I know his interview that I did is in season 1. He was, I think, the 4th. He was my 4th episode of, season 1, episode 4, Roy Wood Jr. I should definitely check that out. And last but not least, man, and this cat, man, I consider him one of my mentors, even though his ass might not. Like, you might ask him, hey man, you meldon? Like, he told me he told me you was one of his mentors. He was like, oh, I don't mentor his ass. Like, he probably would say that, but hey, I'm claiming it. He's one of my comedy mentors. My man Ali Sadiq. Yes, Ali Sadiq. You guys know Ali Sadiq, man. If you don't know Ali Sadiq, you better get up on it, man. This guy's a very funny comedian, and I think, my opinion, one of the best storytellers that's out there today. His comedy is just kind of straight up telling stories. He can sit there and just, have you enthralled in a story while he's making you laugh. The origin of me, meeting Ali and getting the interview with him is probably like the best story. That's probably the best story that I have in terms of nailing an interview. So I just mentioned Roy Wood, right? So I got cool with Roy Wood after we did, the interview, And when I say got cool with, I don't mean like these people, like my best friends or nothing. I couldn't, like they ain't inviting me to their cribs and nothing. I ain't saying that. But I'm just saying in terms of I'll just say cordial, So they know me, I know them. They know I'm on my grind. So my birthday rolls around one of these recent years, man, and I found out that Roy Wood would be at the Just for Laughs festival in Toronto, Canada. And I was like, oh shit, like Roy Wood about to be in Toronto, you know what I'm saying? I know he about to be showing out. That shit gonna be tight. So you know what? Since it's on my birthday, I'm going to Toronto, Canada, and I'm going to do the Just for Laughs comedy, festival. This is going to be fun. So I planned it all out and, flew on over to Toronto, man, told Roy Wood I was coming. He was like, yeah, come on, man, let's be tight. And I get there, man, and I just had a time of my life. Roy Wood gets me like a gets me in most of the gigs and all of that shit. It was we I'm sitting there chilling with all the comedians and everything. I got pictures and everything. But one of the best things that happened to me was that Roy Wood introduced me to Ali Sadiq. Roy Wood was like, "Hey man, this is my boy Ali Sadiq, man. Ali Sadiq, this is Meldon Williams, man. He an up and coming comedian. He out there on the grind." So while Roy Wood is performing one of his shows, me and Ali just get a chance to sit and kick it. And so we talking about everything, man. Just kind of, comedy. I remember we talking sports. This is where Ali, like me and him had a whole bunch of good ass conversations about the NBA and sports. His ass love Magic Johnson. That's his favorite guy. And I'm a Jordan guy, so we go head up about that. But yeah, man, in the midst of our conversation, Ali said some shit, and I laughed to this day because I don't know how serious he was. But damn it, hey, when it come to sometimes you say some shit to the right person, and that person ain't playing. That was me. Like I was one of those people that wasn't playing when I heard this. But Ali said, "Well, look, man, any friend of Roy's, man, is a friend of mine, bro." I was like, "Oh, well, thank you, I appreciate that." He was like, "Man, so since you say you fly," because I told him, that, I'm a, I fly. You know what I'm saying? I get flight privileges. He was like, "Oh, okay, so yeah, man, shit, I'm all over the place, man. I'm on touring right now." He's like, "So wherever I am, man, you can just kind of look at my schedule and everything, and you can fly into these places, and I'll let you do some time." Hey, like I said, you told the wrong mother. Either the wrong or the right motherfucker that. Like I don't know what it was to him, because sometimes people just say some shit to be nice. So I was just like, man, I hope he ain't just saying this to be nice. But damn it, I'm gonna look at his schedule, and wherever the hell Ali Sadiq is gonna be, and I can get there. Hey, I'm going. And for the next like year or two, dude. Hey, I was literally hitting Ali Sadiq. I gave me his number and everything. I was hitting Sadiq up like, "Hey, bro, I see you gonna be in Providence, Rhode Island tonight." He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Hey, bro, I'll be there." I would fly in to I remember I flew to Providence, Rhode Island, man, and performed. I ain't never been to Rhode Island before. Where else? Phoenix, Arizona, Columbus, Ohio, Jacksonville, Florida. I followed this dude around, and he was nice enough to be like, "Hey, I said it, so shit," and was literally giving me, like guest sets at clubs, that he was, it's different to do an open mic where you got 20 people in there, 30 people in there, and everybody's open mic. As opposed to doing a damn near sold out, Friday or Saturday night, because everybody came to see Ali Sadiq. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, those are I truly believe that those experiences on those stages were helping. Even though it's 5 minutes, 7 minutes, whatever I get, those experiences were helping me get good. You know what I mean? Those were helping me get good in terms of getting my confidence up, and also just kind of traveling, not just doing your home club. It's huge for comedians to do other places, other regions. So now like the same motherfuckers that you making laugh in Phoenix, you probably ain't gonna be able to use the same jokes in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have different material, different people, man. So yes, I say all that to say that that's how I nailed the relationship, and then of course eventually we sat down. I think we did the interview in Atlanta, by the way. My episode with Ali, I did it in Atlanta. That is how I got with Ali Sadiq, man, and been better for it ever since, man. I call him right now, like, "What else, Sadiq?" Bother, he might not answer, but I truly do consider him a mentor, because he let me do that, and I'm trying my best, like, not to bother him too much now, because hey, he did that for me, and now it's up to me. And to go out here and get my shit. Now I'm getting booked though. Now I'm featuring, and now I'm all over the place. And I'll end this pod by giving a special shout out. Special shout out to, speaking of getting booked, Zany's Comedy Club in Rosemont. Now, everybody know I love Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase. That's my home club. I love them. Blah, blah this, blah, blah that. But hey, Zany's is quickly becoming my my favorite club, dude. The green room is sick. I love being in there with all of the comedy albums, of all the greats. You know what I'm saying? They got Fiji water in the refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? That's the only time I can drink a $17 bottle of water. Because any other time I'm getting the Walmart shit. I'm getting the Walmart brand. But hell yeah, I go to Rosemont. I know I can get me a bougie ass Fiji water. You know what I mean? And yeah, man. So I just did last weekend. I just was booked for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday featuring, man. And you talking about being treated like family. You talking about being treated like amazingly. Like they treated me like what I'm saying? Like I wasn't the headliner, but damn it, they treated me like family. You know what I'm saying? Let me eat free food. I'm trying to pay for the food. Like, no, you're good. Drinks, like everything, man. I had a good time. All the Pepsis and Cokes I wanted. And yeah, man, I just had a really good time. They even recorded the show, gave me footage. So special shout out to the folk over at Zany's Rosemont, man. I love you guys. I thank you so much for booking me, and hopefully y'all keep on doing it. Whenever y'all need a feature or an MC, man, hey, y'all keep Meldon Williams in mind. With that said, hey, thank y'all so much for tuning in. And tell folks about the Comedy Chatter podcast, man. I'm still trying to get these listens up. I'm still trying to get these likes and subscribers and all that stuff. I usually don't even ask. But that's pretty much what it's all about now. People think you ain't shit if you ain't got, if you ain't got 100,000 followers. And now they got this TikTok shit out there. And, you know what I'm saying? I finally signed up for TikTok. Yes, I did. I've been talking about it for years, and I ain't been on goddamn TikTok. I'm a grown ass man, but hey, adapt or die, right? So y'all go follow me on TikTok and all that shit. I think I only got 4 followers, but like you said, you ain't shit if you ain't on that stuff. So Meldon's Comedy at Meldon's Comedy TikTok, and man, the Comedy Chatter podcast featuring Meldon Williams. Y'all make sure y'all check me out, man. And say once again, thank y'all so much for tuning in and messing with us. Yo, thank you so much for checking out the pod this go round. A special thanks to all the people that have been listening and subscribing and supporting. I appreciate you wholeheartedly. Make sure y'all check out my website, meldonscomedy.com, as well as all my social media platforms, which goes by the same moniker. And I've even got a TikTok now at Meldon's Comedy. Make sure y'all follow, listen, subscribe, and support and all that good stuff. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Y'all be good to yourselves and each other. Peace out.